To introduce our next speaker, I'd like to share with you a short poem by Langston Hughes entitled Dreams. Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken winged bird that cannot fly. Hold fast to dreams, for when dreams go, life is a barren field frozen with snow. Here's Dr. Paul Panzica, who's going to tell about his class entitled Dream Circle and Spiritual Vision.
It's a tough act to follow, Pastor President Biden.
You can hear your mic,
I have this on, that's what I'm saying.
This class, it's really not a class, it's more of what we call a dream circle. The idea is that we would bring something into the gathering to share, so to speak. Which is your own experiences, which is essentially conveyed to us perhaps through dreams. It doesn't have to be, let's say, a dream. It could be something else. It could be hard to say, but possibly something that occurred through meditation, something that occurred at any point in our life where our consciousness was impaired, and we had, let's say, a vision to something that was beyond the physical. A lot of times these visions happen to us mainly through dreams, but through other experiences. And I think that the reason this happens is for us to process these experiences. It may take years for this to happen, but it's like a seed that's being planted inside us that eventually we have to share with others. So the idea is that we would get together for probably 3 sessions, and we would have the opportunity then to create an environment where I hope people would feel comfortable being able to share those experiences, and we also would use that to kind of guide our direction in relationship to the discussions or the discourses that we could generate from that. I think dreams are fascinating. As a scientist and a physician, we really have no explanation for them. But we also know through Scripture that this is one of the ways that God speaks to us. And once again, I think it's not just for our own benefit, but I think it's also for the benefit of others. There was some concern about, are we going to be doing psychoanalysis or anything like that during this session? And that's really not the point. But if anyone has a perplexing vision that they would care to share, we certainly can do that. I think that we could establish boundaries as far as how deep we need to delve into that. There's any questions at all?
That's easy.
I'd also like to connect this then to a passage in Scripture, and we could use that as a point of reference or contemplation. And it's one that always perplexed me for a while, which was the story in Matthew about the talents, and the master giving this tremendous amount of wealth to his servants, his 3 servants, and 2 of the servants who took that talent and compounded it, literally invested it, and they used the analogy of money, were rewarded, so to speak, by the master. But the one that took it and put it in a hole and didn't invest it, he was not only chastised, but he was punished. If you look at it from a superficial standpoint, to me, the master seems like a loan shark. He's a pretty hard guy. And it used to always perplex me. What is this? Why this sounds like a pretty neat guy. But I realized over time that this is actually an analogy for dreams. It's an analogy for vision. And I think we could use that as a reference point to begin some of our conversations. Any other questions? Yes.
I'll wait for Guy.
Yeah.
Is this something you do in your professional life?
Well, yes. I don't do dream interpretations. I spend a lot of time practicing psychology. as a primary care physician over time, we've kind of taken on that role. And I would have to say that virtually every case that walks through the office now has a psycho-spiritual component to it. We look for that. I'm fascinated by dreams, and I certainly encourage my patients to share them with us. And through that experience, too, we can also start to recognize that there are certain types of dreams. There's prophetic dreams. There's recurrent dreams. There's anxiety dreams. And so we could get a sense of that, in the dream circle. I've also participated in these through other, let's say, integrative health and alternative types of healing seminars. So I have some experience with it. Yes?
Could you give us just a short description of your background, please?
I've been practicing medicine for about 20 years. I trained at Rush Presbyterian St. Luke's. I'm a board-certified pediatrician and a board-certified internal medicine physician. We basically see the entire spectrum of patients. The focus that I've done is primary care, but I've spent a lot of time in hospitals. I've spent a lot of time with people who are gravely ill, and I've seen people born into this life, and I've seen people leave this earth. So that's my background.
Okay, this is an absolutely fascinating topic. And I'm curious, how is it going to be conducted? In conversation, or do you have reading, handouts? How do we approach it?
No, there's going to be no pre-required reading, no homework. All you have to do is show up, and if you're interested, I would encourage you to come. Once again, I think it would be nice to reflect upon the story in Matthew. There is a lot of important information from that. We can spend an hour just talking about it.
I was wondering, now I'd like to attend your class as well as the first one, and I really have to attend the first one. So I was wondering if there was a way that if I decided to miss one of the first class, that would it be beneficial just to be able to come to one of your classes?
Absolutely, right. This is a very loose type of presentation, and there's no specific structure.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
I just have a suggestion. Can you repeat the question, because there are a number of folks who can't hear the questions?
The questions.
Yeah.
I wonder if you can give us a specific Matthew passage.
I can't quote scripture, I'm sorry. The specific Matthew passage,
Fred's going to
help us on that.
I could look it up myself.
Talk amongst yourselves.
He's looking it up.
That's another question. I've got your class.
Yes.
I noticed that it's a 3-week class. What happens after 3 weeks? Is it that people seek out another class, or do you repeat it?
Well, I'm doing another class after that, which is on holistic healing. And a lot of these ideas will be repeated over and over and over again, actually. So you might be interested in attending that one in October, and we'll see if there's any room or interest after we do this class. If there is, we can certainly offer it at a later date, sometime this year or next year.
Matthew 25, verses 14 through 30. Matthew 25, verses 14 through 30.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. We need to, I think, give somebody else a chance to speak. Just to save time, there's another class that will be offered then in October, which will be on holistic healing. That is a subject that I actually teach at Midwestern University. We've been doing that now for about 3 years. A lot of the material that we present to the medical students, I've done this to some degree last year or earlier this year. But this will be more focused specifically on holistic healing. That we tried to marry this before to human development, but it's kind of hard to kind of cram all that in. That'll also be a 3-week session. And that one is going to be, at least at the beginning, connected to the vision of Ezekiel, which I think is very interesting. So that one will be offered later in October. Any questions on that one?